Hi legends, hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Let's analyze the price of Bitcoin here together. What do we need to see as a sign of strength for Bitcoin to continue momentum here to the upside? What are the probabilities? We had this explosive move on Friday that just got absolutely wiped out during the weekend. And now the question is, can we go higher and go and claim an all-time high again? Let's analyze together. Looking at Bitcoin here on the 4-hour time frame, the first thing that I would like to see is for Bitcoin to get back inside of the range. So obviously what happened on Friday, we had this nice little explosion. We got acceptance back inside of the range and then we lost it. So for the bulls to start taking back control, what you would like to see is for price to get back inside of the range, because we short the tops, we long the bottoms. And so you trade the range and you have these deviations to the up and to the downside, and you basically just trade the range until there's no more range. And this range can potentially still continue for a little bit longer based on this recent move that we had over here. Right, legends, from the most bearish case perspective, because you remember we've been talking about those nested 1-2s and it's just going to absolutely tank to the downside. Okay, but we spoke about the probabilities in terms of it doesn't carry the highest probability. So for the moment, the most bearish case scenario that I do see here is this one, okay, where we have basically formed 5 waves in a 1-2, 5-wave down, 3-wave corrective structure, and now we are potentially building a 3rd wave here to the downside. This scenario for me does not carry high probability. There's a couple of problems with the scenario. I'm not going to point it all out, but it's something that we still need to keep in mind, that if price suddenly drops here to the downside, we were prepared for this scenario. Some of the reasons is this recent move to the downside does not count beautifully as an impulsive structure. It looks awfully corrective here to the downside. And after you have formed a 1-2, okay, and this is now another 1-2, which did not take the high over there, you want to fall in a 5-wave impulsive wave to the downside. And this looks awfully corrective, and therefore I'm favoring corrective structures instead of impulsive structures. So for this scenario, to absolutely just tank here to the downside, okay, even taking us to $100,000 for the moment carries the lowest probability. The scenario which I like better from a probabilities perspective, because the technicals just looks better and balances better, is the following. And it's basically a larger sideways corrective structure in a WXY. So from a simplicity perspective, we have formed an ABC here to the downside and another A, B, and this little pump that we had on Friday was a massive C wave to the upside. And remember what I always say during my live streams, C waves are fast, they are extremely aggressive, and most often the price reverses the entire move from a C wave perspective. Okay, and you can also see how the C wave ended on a high amount of volume. So this scenario for me carries higher probability, is that we could potentially be extending the range for much longer, where we formed an ABC in a W, another A, B, C inside of an A, and now you're going to form another A, B, C inside of an X wave, and now we will analyze the price together, because this Y wave can form a flat, it can form a triangle, and depending on how high this X wave goes, it will impact the probabilities of what potential structure could form here in the Y wave. But for now, from a simplicity perspective, we're basically expecting the range to still continue. So if this is your initial move to the downside and this is your connector wave, it's a little bit short in time. You want your connector wave to be a little bit longer in time and then get another wave that matches this wave over here. And now you can see you'll have a nice 3-wave structure to potentially complete the corrective structure, after which the bull market can potentially continue to the upside. Now let's zoom into the smaller time frames and just discuss a couple of trading scenarios that I'm currently watching. So some of the levels that I'm currently watching here on the 15-minute time frame is taking a trend-based fib from this little low to the high over here. You can see that you have your flat targets here at the bottom, and based on the larger structure that I've just shared, that this could definitely be your A, B, and now we're going up for a C. So a nice little 3-wave structure. And the B wave over here has hit the flat target at the 1.236 and the 1.382. So from a bearish perspective, if price had to still come down and we form a triple bottom, what I would like to see is for price to dip below the 1.382 okay, and get acceptance back above. And that will be another long trigger for me. I'm already in a long because I played the swing failure here from the bottoms, also using some fib extension levels. But if you haven't gotten into the trade just as yet, purely from a trend line perspective where I just apply my trading strategies, you can see that price is breaking out of some of the critical trends over here. The first trend that we broke out of is this one at the moment, just breaking out of this trend where your stop goes below the low, you play the breakout and you TP yourself out of the position. Okay, TP1, TP2, and these little pivots are always great profit taking areas. This move, if successful, does have the potential to come and eat up this high, but as I always preach, it's never guaranteed because it could form a running flat. Basically, what a running flat means is that price turns around before it hits the high and then it starts falling back to the downside. Okay, we also have to acknowledge to the upside, just to highlight some of the strongest levels of resistance we have to the upside, is we do have this weekly naked point of control exactly at this high. So if you are attempting long positions inside of this zone, whether you're playing the breakout strategy, maybe you've played the SFP strategy over here, maybe you had a smaller trend over there where you played the breakout, okay, these are always great profit taking areas because you never know what's going to happen when you hit those levels. And they also become very interesting shorting opportunities. If price had to break out this little trend over here and it rejects, that could be a scalp that could play out over here. You form a higher low and maybe you continue. But the ultimate target for this zone over here is to go and eat up this high that we formed here on Friday. Remember, legends, if you want the best deals that these exchanges has to offer, it's only by using the links down in the description. Okay, for weeks, they have this amazing deal running at the moment. For whatever money you put and deposit into your features account, they will match it with a Ethereum airdrop position. Also, by simply binding your phone and your email, you can get a coupon between $10 and $100 to trade with for free. And also, the more you trade, the more money gets airdropped into your features account. So Weeks are really pulling out the stops over here. If you haven't signed up with Weeks or you haven't given them a try, link is here down in the description, third link over here. And then also Bluffin, they still have that special, depending on how much you deposit. If you deposit 25K, you get upgraded to VIP status 1, 50K to VIP status 2, and you get incredibly low fees to trade with when you get upgraded. You also get 10% cash back on the money that you deposit into your features account. Thanks for watching this update. Until the next one, cheers for now.